everybody, and welcome to NASCAR.com Garage Cam, presented by Mobil 1. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner, bringing you live streaming 30 minutes behind the scenes here in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Garage on NASCAR.com, and for the first time ever on NASCAR Facebook Live. So welcome all you Facebook users. I'm a big Facebook guy. I love it. But here it is. This is the show. If you see the number 55 car here live on your screen and you're watching this live, if you're on NASCAR.com, there's a chat bubble that opens up the chat room. Get on in there, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you want to see on the show today. And hey, if you're on Facebook Live, hey man, you're already in the chat. Have some fun, interact, no boring requests here today. You got a question for us? Well, shoot it to us. You may have a question about this car. New look paint scheme here on the number 30 car this weekend, and a different driver behind the wheel. Gray Gaulding in the Feed the Children number 30 car, and usually Josh Wise is behind the wheel of this car, but Gray Gaulding in the seat this weekend. And Josh, you're still here though, being a part of the team.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, you can hold the mic. Yeah, go for it.
Yes, I'm still here. Can't get away from the racetrack.
So helping out, or what's your
Yeah,
what's your
I'm just here in case Gray needs any help. It's his first Cup start, obviously, and we thought there was going to be 41 cars, so there's a little extra pressure that comes with that for the team and for a guy making his first Cup start. So just here if they need me.
Hey, we're on Facebook Live with Garage Cam for the first time. I know you're like a social media nut in a way. I mean, I follow your Snapchat. This is the most slow I've ever seen you, because you're usually running everywhere on your Snapchat.
I am. I'm going for a run in between practice and qualifying, so I'm going to round up my buddy Landon Castle, and we're going to go find a little trail and go for a run. So
who's faster?
Oh, me, of course.
Faster feet right there. Josh Wise, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it. And make sure you follow him on Snapchat. It's one of the more entertaining NASCAR follows that I follow. I mean, Will Yeager here, I don't know if he has a Snapchat. That's our producer. Here's the deal. We're in the behind-the-scenes show, and we're so behind the scenes that we're even part of the behind the scenes. This is our Sprint tablet right there. We monitor the chat room on our Sprint tablet, our mobile device, as well as right now the Facebook Live chat. So we got our hands full today, but we're loving it. Hopefully bringing this show to a whole new audience, and bringing some maybe new NASCAR fans, people that aren't usually on NASCAR.com or maybe even at the track or whatever, introducing them to behind the scenes, what it's really like, first person to walk through this garage right here. The number 93 AG Wade construction machine, Matt DiBenedetto, nicknamed Guido, up on the roof right there, that number 93. He's usually in the 83, but here's what's happening. Dylan Lupton is attempting to make his third career Cup Series start in that number 83. They gave him the number 83, Lupton, so he'd get points with that charter to guarantee him in the show. Now the 93 here though has to make his way in the show in Coors Light qualifying today, so a little bit more pressure on this young driver, Matt DiBenedetto, but hey, he could do it. He's done pretty well this year in that number 93. Well, welcome to Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip, built in 1947. And one of the original tracks here in NASCAR, and a place filled with so much charm, so much character. I was a youngin' here watching races as a kid, coming down from New York and seeing the train tracks off the backstretch and the train rolling by, and good old short track racing on a paperclip shaped 0.5 mile oval. This isn't a palace of speed. This is a palace of action and physicality here. Short track racing. These cars will be in close quarters all race long, and it's always entertaining. CorvetteParts.net on this Ford right here, the number 32, of course, of Jeffrey Earnhardt, rookie competitor. Not a full-time rookie this year, not running a part-time schedule, but right now the other four rookie competitors this year all have top 5 finishes this year. So it's been a great year for the rookies this year. Jeffrey Earnhardt hoping to add his name to that list at some point here. Michael Annett, the number 46 Flying J machine, and you see they've got the car up on Jack's scale pads right here, making adjustments to the wedge of that automobile right here with the jacking bolts in the back. Getting the balance on this car before first practice here, which begins in about 25 minutes here from Martinsville. And here's the number 83 car, Dylan Lupton, attempting to qualify for his third Sprint Cup Series race. And you see the digital dash. All these cars have digital dashes now in their machines. Teammate right alongside David Reagan, the Unadilla, Georgia driver. So shout out to all the people from the GA watching on NASCAR.com and NASCAR Facebook Live today. This might be your driver right here. You got a few Georgia boys in the field. You got Chase Elliott also in the field, more towards the front of the garage right now. First in the chat room, though, let's take care of business in the interactive garage today. Louis DiDonato, you want to see your favorite driver? Jeff Gordon, one more time. Well, we'll get up to that number 88 for sure, but that's one of the big stories of the week. And Louis DiDonato, congrats on being the first person in the interactive garage in our chat room. Regan Smith's number 7 car, and you can go on NASCAR.com right now, and there's some news this weekend about, Cup Series drivers limiting the amount of starts they can have in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, and our very own Regan Smith here, who's a driver in the Sprint Cup Series, but also a guest analyst for us on NASCAR.com, did filed a little report, his opinion on what he thinks about it. You can check that out in the videos. If you scroll down, the video tiles on NASCAR.com. American Red Cross, really cool announcement this week at RPM, at Richard Petty Motorsports here with this 44 car, and having American Red Cross involved and flying the colors of American Red Cross. And you could text Matthew, to 9099 and donate to the relief after Hurricane Matthew. Cool to see NASCAR doing so much for so many others, and using that platform that we all have here in the sport. The number 44, Brian Scott, attempting to make his second start here in the Sprint Cup Series. This rookie competitor. Of course, we're here in the spring, second race of the year at Martinsville Speedway, and a place that, truthfully, I think I could race here almost every week. I love it. Landon Castle, got a practice to do, and then, of course, he's going to go on a run with Josh Wise. And the number 13 of Casey Mears, enjoying some family time here in the garage. We're live on Facebook Live on NASCAR now with Garage Cam.
All right.
What you doing? You having fun with the boy here?
Yeah, man, I got Hayden here with me this week for a day or two until Mom gets here tomorrow. So
so it's daddy duty.
Yeah, a little bit of boys weekend. Yeah.
So what mischievous actions and trouble do you think the two of you are going to get in?
Well, I mean, it's the full extent of it is probably just being about as crude as we can on the bus without the ladies in there, So that doesn't get too out of control, but at 5 years old.
Hey, the Mears family has been so much about family in racing. How much does it mean for you to be able to share that with your children now?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to for sure. I grew up a lot of years watching my dad and my uncle. My dad and uncle grew up watching my grandfather race, so it's really cool for him to see what I do, and kind of understand that, understand the history and the heritage. I think when he sees his papa, he just sees papa. He doesn't see a race car driver, but as he gets older, he sees the pictures on the walls and starts understanding kind of what we've done our whole lives. It's a lot of fun.
All right, Hayden, how do you think your old man's going to do this week? Is Daddy going to do well?
How are we going to do? Going to do good?
I think he's a little shy now. I love it. He plays a little shy. That's all good. Hayden, and a little boys' weekend for the Mears family. That's a pretty cool deal. Enjoying some garage time here. And here's the Malware Bites, number 95, and Michael McDowell. And I'll tell you what, McDowell, man, you got some. Tell me about this helmet, McDowell. That's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, man. It's the Malware Bites. It's a cool paint scheme. Malware Bites is crushing malware. As you guys know, we had a little ransomware issue with our computer systems at the shop, and partnered with Malware Bites, and now we're protected. So, we got this cool little robot here, and it looks good. The helmet looks good. Gear looks good. It's always fun to have something different.
So does that mean if you win, you will get out of the car and do the robot?
Yeah, I'll do the robot. I'll do whatever. I mean, not whatever. You shouldn't say whatever.
No, but the robot would be an entertaining Victory Lane celebration.
Yeah. Victory Lane would be fun here.
That would be. All right, you get a grandfather clock, and it's not a digital clock, so you wouldn't need any malware bites. But pretty cool paint scheme. There's the robot right there. Yeah, it doesn't really look very much like Michael McDowell, but pretty cool paint scheme indeed on this number 95 from Levine Family Racing. A great group of guys working on this car every week. Clint Boyer, the number 15 5-hour Energy Chevrolet. Hey, you know what? We got to talk about first, before I say something here, we got to talk about the 43 car because we're at Martinsville. And this is the King's Ride, man. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, you might have your kid with you. I know a bunch of people that I know, whenever you show their kid this car, they go, Mr. the King, Mr. the King. Well, all of us racers know, of course, Richard Petty, the King, but of course the movie Cars, Mr. the King. So hey, if you're watching this on Facebook Live now and you have your kid there, this is probably their favorite part of Garage Camp. But the number 43, Eric Amarola, the Smithfield made the USA paint scheme for this weekend for the traditional Petty Blue 43, just up the road, Randleman, North Carolina, where the Petty name, from Lee Petty to Richard to Kyle and Adam, is such a huge part of this sport. Paul Menard, the number 27, RCR, and the number 16 of Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle, okay, has more Cup wins. I think he has 19 wins career in the Sprint Cup Series. More Cup wins than any driver in NASCAR history that hasn't won at a short track. Very interesting there. He's won at a short track in the Truck Series. He's won at a short track in the Xfinity Series. You know, a champion in both those series. But here in Sprint Cup, 19 wins in his career, but he has yet to win at a short track. The number 10 of Danica Patrick, her top finish here, a nice 7th place run in 2014 for Danica Patrick. 2015, the Nature's Bakery number 10 car. Up on the scale pads right now. Right there, you see that that triangle that he has right there. They're checking the camber on that machine, the tire. Okay, you see the tire right there, how it's kind of angled, just like that. Well, that's called camber. That helps the car turn better. So that camber there will help that car turn. You don't want too much camber though, because you can affect the wear of the tire. So much adjustment on these NASCAR Sprint Cup Series stock cars. You see the camber on this car right here. At short tracks like Martinsville, especially flat ones, or a place like New Hampshire, that's typically a very flat racetrack, you see more camber run on these race cars. And here is Trevor Bayne, the number 6 car. Advocare machine, the Ford from Roush Fenway Racing. Only 3 top 5 finishes for Roush Fenway Racing dating back to 2005 here at Martinsville. Only 3 top 5s for this organization here at Martinsville. So I don't know what it is in particular, but it seems like the drivers and the organization of Roush Fenway Racing has struggled here at the Virginia Paperclip. Here is the Tennessee native, Ryan Blaney. The Virginia Tech colors, all right. Light it up there. Jonathan Merriman, our reporter, is a big VT fan, big Hokie. Oh, of course, I think he's walking up right now. All right, Jonathan Merriman, I'm going to give you the mic because we're standing next to a car that you're a Virginia native. That probably makes you pretty proud.
I graduated from Virginia Tech. So this car ran at Bristol.
How does it make you feel seeing that day?
How does it make me feel? It makes me feel butterflies and joy inside. No, it's pretty cool. See my college on a car. We're not supposed to play favorites, but if this car was in victory lane as a Virginia Tech alum, it would make me feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious right there. A little pride in where you went to school and honed your skills to become a TV broadcast professional here. But Jonathan Merriman here, he's our lead reporter with NASCAR.com. What's going on here in the Cup Series garage besides the fact that we're getting ready for practice?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be hot come Sunday. Jimmy Johnson talked to us in the media center about how the heat, which we haven't really seen at Martinsville in the spring or the fall races over the past couple years, is going to allow them to lay down more rubber. Usually what we see is the rubber balls build up and push up the track, creating a lot of debris. And he still thinks that there's going to be a lot of debris picked up on tires, but with all of the rubber rubber laid down on the track because it's so hot, we're going to have multiple lanes. We may see 2 lanes at Martinsville, which we haven't seen that in a while.
That would be something else. And what Jonathan Merriman is talking about, basically with the hotter temperatures, the rubber will sink down and adhere to the track better, the rubber on these Goodyear Eagles. So in the cooler weather, it kind of marbles up into little balls, and these little balls basically are like, you know, like dancing on ice when you get on top of them. They're like if you put a bunch of marbles under your feet, and obviously you'd slip and fall. Well, that's what happens there. So, but with this heat, that rubber should stick and adhere to the racetrack even better. Ricky Stenhouse's car slammed down onto the ground. That's pretty cool looking right there. These NASCAR Sprint Cup Series stock cars. A.J. Allmendinger's Clorox Coke Kroger ride. And alongside the car that, well, everybody's talking about. Well, there's a reason. You see Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s name on the windshield of this number 88 Nationwide ride, but of course Dale Earnhardt Jr. still sidelined with he'll be sidelined for the rest of the season with concussion symptoms. But Jeff Gordon, the man here, 9 wins, most of anybody here, and of course that big iconic win last year in this race, you know, that put him into the last round of the chase at Homestead, and that iconic moment in Victory Lane that we were all part of. We were in the middle of it, where he shouted in like a little kid getting a Christmas present, saying, "We're going to Homestead! We're going to Homestead!" 72 laps is a key number for him this weekend. Do you know why? Because if he does that, he ties Cale Yarborough for the most laps led by anybody here at Martinsville, and that would be quite a feat for sure. Jeff Gordon has led so many laps here, and in fact, in his career, he's only about 64 laps short of reaching the 25,000 laps led mark in NASCAR. So, you know, hey, he's got a lot to race here for statistically. And, of course, this is Jeff Gordon's favorite track. And remember, folks, this is such a big weekend because last year at Homestead, we thought that's Jeff Gordon's last race. Then, of course, he's filling in here for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in a substitute role here, him and Alex Bowman. But this weekend in Martinsville, looks to be the final race of an icon in our sport, Jeff Gordon. Make sure you check it out, too, because Jeff Gordon just released a new book. So I just got a copy of it. It's pretty cool, so make sure you go hit that up. You can go to Jeff Gordon's website and check that out. Beautiful book that highlights a lot of his racing career from his childhood, running quarter midgets, all the way to his success here in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series as an icon of our sport and, of course, a future Hall of Famer. Ryan Newman, fresh off that new contract at RCR. Let's check out, hey, Facebook Live, somebody saying, "Hey, Dillner, thanks for being on Facebook Live." From Katie, that's awesome. That's awesome. Jeff from Facebook, how much does Blaney like his VT colors? Oh, yeah, that's awesome. We want to see if we could get as many people on the chat as possible and give you all shout outs. And of course, Danica Patrick here, walking through the garage area. We'll try to walk and talk with her here on NASCAR Facebook Live and Garage Cam. This place is a place that always brings a smile to your face. You got a 7th place finish here, and a place that you seem to get around really well.
Thank you. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. I hope I can
How much do you look forward to coming here every year?
I do. I look forward to coming here, and I've had a couple bad races, but mostly good ones, so let's hope it's a good one.
All right, Danica Patrick, the Nature's Bakery number 10. Little walk and talk there. Hey, giving the old guy here some exercise. I love it. It's a beautiful day to be walking around in this garage. Make sure you got to come out to a NASCAR race. If you've never been here, this is kind of cool because we show you behind the scenes, but there's nothing like being at the event. The smell of popcorn and hot dogs, of course, the iconic Martinsville hot dog here, I love it. But just the experience here of hearing these cars and seeing them up close is an amazing thing. Leah Bartlett, can I please see the number 5 of Kasey Kahne? Well, there is the 5 with new colors this week for Kasey Kahne. Chris Buescher, the Loves, travel stop number 34, right alongside. Jamie McMurray, in the number 1. First data on board for Jamie McMurray. The Chip Ganassi Racing entry. And Chris Buescher. And there is Chris Buescher talking with one of his crew members. See if we get a word with Buescher here, man. This place is such a struggle for a lot of people when they first start their careers, and I know you didn't get much time here before you came to the Sprint Cup Series, you know, coming from the Xfinity Series. Have you found a liking for this place or what?
I do like Martinsville. It's different. It reminds you of that short track racing we did just a couple years ago back in the ARCA Series. So it's a kind of a different racetrack, a little bit more manicured than a lot of the racetracks that we've been at in the past. So it's its own animal, but we were pretty decent in the second half of the race last year or earlier this year. So we'll try and learn from that.
All right, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, because we are at Martinsville, and if I had a Garage Cam show here and didn't ask you if you've had a hot dog yet. No?
No.
What about the rest of the weekend?
No.
Chris Buescher. We'll go hot dogless for the rest of the weekend. Casey Kane going to climb into his UniFirst number 5. The number 1 of Jamie McMurray, and of course the Mobil 1 Haas CNC Chevrolet right here of Tony Stewart. And Jamie McMurray joins us on NASCAR.com and on Facebook Live, our first time streaming on that. All right, man, you need a win here in the Cup Series. You want to win here to get a grandfather clock, but you've won here before in the Truck Series. I forgot what year, like 2009 or so. Did you get a clock when you won that?
I did not.
No.
It would be cool to have a clock. You know, the guitar at Nashville is one of those trophies that everybody wants. There's a few tracks that have those kind of memorable trophies, and I think the grandfather clock here is one of those. It's also a really long race, even though it's you know, mileage-wise, it's not. 500 laps out here is a long time, and I've come close. I finished second here, I think, 2 or 3 times, and it's my favorite track. So I look forward to every time we get to come to Martinsville.
All right, Jamie McMurray, thank you for joining us on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live at Garage Cam. Chris Abel, Garage Cam, is at the he's at the hot dog stand, please. Chris, are you there? Or are you saying we should go there? I don't know. I'd like to go there right after the show. And I'm sure Rico Abreu here, who's going to be running in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, wouldn't mind going to the hot dog stand. He's going to be running his Safe Flight Glass, Safe Flight Repair truck. And you'll see that truck on NASCAR.com, Garage Cam at noon on NASCAR.com, not on Facebook, but NASCAR.com at noon, Camping World Truck Series, Garage Cam. Dillner, who has the coolest paint scheme out here? Well, we haven't been through yet, but I think it's the Kyle Busch car, the Jack-O-Lantern car. I mean, you gotta love that. Chase Elliott, the number 24, of course, not making this round of the chase, but has a lot to race for here. Chase Elliott does. He has 2 starts here, does Chase Elliott. His best, a 20th in the spring, and he's going to hold double duty this weekend in that truck, number 71. So trying to get some good lap time. It's a good track time here at Martinsville, a place that's so tough for any young race car driver to get a hold of. Here's the number 2 Alliance Truck Parts machine of this driver, Brad Keselowski, joining us live on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live here. And hey, Kes, you're an old school guy, man. You're an old school racer, and you won at Bristol, you won at Richmond, but there's an old school short track you haven't won at. How bad do you want to get that grandfather clock?
It'd be nice to get it. We've been real close. We ran second here twice and led a bunch of laps here last fall, so I think we got a great shot at it.
I'll tell you what, this team has been one of the strongest teams in the Sprint Cup Series all year long, Brad Keselowski, and don't expect this team to lay down. They're going to go out there. They're going to go for checkered flags every single week, because that's what it's all about in NASCAR, too. Of course, he wanted to win that Sprint Cup Series championship, but this is a team of old school, hardcore racers here that want to get it done. Plus, he wants to be the guy that has the most wins when this season ends. Right now, this team with 4 wins on the season. Martin Truex, Jim Lee's high from the Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore fist bump for you. for Martin Truex Jr. And somebody said, hey, what's the best looking paint scheme right here? Well, it's almost Halloween weekend right here, and hopefully this 4-time winner doesn't spook everybody too bad, but he's a winner here at Martinsville as well. The number 18 of Kyle Busch. And alongside the State Water Heaters, number 41 paint scheme for Kurt Busch. Kurt, 32 starts here, 2 wins. But I'll tell you this, as far as the chasers that are left, the worst average finish of the 8 chasers, 21.2. Wow. But yes, he does have that win here with Stewart-Haas Racing in 2014. But not the best track for Kurt Busch, statistically. Denny Hamlin has 5 wins here in his Virginia home. Of course, the Virginia native here in the FedEx Freight, number 11 for Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing with 4 cars in the chase. Wow, that is an unbelievable thing. You remember for years the dominance of Hendrick Motorsports, but now JGR on top. Matt Kenseth, this number 20 machine right here. And, you know, a big turnaround happened with Matt Kenseth when he joined this JGR camp. Okay, his average finish when he was with Roush for all those years, 16th here at Martinsville. Since joining in 2014, since he joined Joe Gibbs Racing, an average finish of 8.7. That basically is twice as good as he was in his first part of his career with Roush Fenway Racing. So 33 starts here. If you throw away that 38th, okay, place finish, of course, with the little skirmish with Joey Logano, he has rattled off some amazing finishes here as of late, so make sure you have him on your NASCAR Fantasy Live team. Kevin Harvick, the Busch Light paint scheme this weekend for the California native. And Joey Logano strapping into his number 22. With the big win last week at Talladega in Alabama, and man, it was really fun radio chatter when between him and Tab Boyd when his spotter, when they won that race, some celebration. And the best thing is Joey Logano broke out in laughter when they were talking about, well, there might be some beer cans thrown at you, and he said he was getting flipped off. Well, let's just say the number 1 salute by a lot of fans at Talladega, and it had this driver, this Connecticut native, cracking up in that race car. And some great radio chatter. It's on NASCAR.com. Make sure you check it out for sure. Jimmy Johnson, the number 48, of course, the man when it comes here. Okay, that doesn't lead all the stat categories. Of course, Jeff Gordon has that. Well, if Jeff Gordon would just maybe go away. No, we can't say that. We love Jeff Gordon. But Jimmy Johnson would be the man on top. But, of course, 8 wins here at Martinsville at the Paperclip. But one of the things that's the most impressive to me is 29 starts here, okay? Think about this. 29 starts, 23 top 10 finishes. That is something of almost of legend here. This is a place that Hendrick Motorsports has pretty much owned. Hendrick Motorsports with 23 wins here at Martinsville Speedway, and this guy has the second most. It's him and Jeff Gordon on the top of the heat for them. But make sure you tune into the goodies. Fast Relief, 500, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC Sports Network, MRN, and of course Sirius XM satellite radio. And it's going to be one heck of a race here. It always is at Martinsville. A place for brakes, a place for tires, a place with a curb on it, short track, half mile, physical type brand of racing. And boy, is it going to be good. You know why? Because it's chase time. 8 drivers competing here in the first race of the round of 8. Oh, baby, it's NASCAR, it's short track racing, and that's at Martinsville. Make sure to tune in at noon Eastern Standard Time on NASCAR.com for Camping World Truck Series Garage Cam. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner. And as Kevin Harvick walks up and gets ready for practice, hey, we'll see you at the races.